There are quite a few positive pieces tonight, but also a lot of hit you between the eyes pieces, and it can create fear. We don't play into fear in this group, but we have to bring it to the light. You know, my answer to them is fuck them and their games, because each one of us that listens to this show can change that narrative and the course of action. We've just forgotten our own power. We don't have to accept those are the consequences. We all have the power to change them. Now, on some day, there will be an end to THI shows. But THI will never leave you regardless of whether the show in this format continues. But the end coming will be a celebration, not a sadness, as THI shows will merge into TPC shows, and a shift from what the world and their demons have done to us to what we are not necessarily doing to them directly, but indirectly. You changing you into a better version indirectly damages them. Something too few realise, because they want to see the external damage directly impacting them in some form of retribution. But internal damage by your own improvements does them far more harm than you realise. An improved version of you will not allow yourselves to remain the battery and harvesting centre they crave of you. You will not allow the enslavement of you they desire also. You will have cut off their energy source, which is you, us, we, all of us. Imagine a cabal member, pick anyone, in hospital on a ventilating machine, and you can pummel them with fists and feet, which uses your energy and encourages low vibrational frequencies. Or just turn off the switch, which uses no energy, and their oxygen supply goes and they die. That is the analogy of improving yourself. You don't have to fight the system. Just be clever, not smart. All the database of information of the old system is contained within our what is now vast archives. It is all still available to all when they are ready. But leaving THI when the time comes will herald the start of the transition out of the old system and into the TPC, which is the new system created by us in our image, not theirs. A post was put up last week about indigo children and star seeds, and how indigos are born awake. A few things come from that statement that is laced in the New Age rhetoric, which doubled up as a classic distraction program and also used as an ego-based platform that somehow if you are an indigo or starseed, you are in some way more special than the rest. This is no different to the Chosen One program, which includes Jews, but only the elite Jews, royalty, gods, goddesses, the Eve, and anyone else placed above others is simply not true. as nobody is above anybody else. The only people or non-people in some cases believe in that is because they are immersed in the hierarchy program and awash with unbalanced ego. The children are children, and every one of them is special enough without adding targeting labels to them like indigo or star seeds. The reality is we are all star seeds. We all came from the stars. We are all stars. Not just some self-appointed cretins masquerading as the demigods for their own self-importance. Indigo children are born awake, was the statement. No, all children are born awake. Society and ignorant parents, along with the education system, is what dulls them. Now, a few generations back, some soul spirit packages came in here to change the dynamics of this planet and to try to restore some semblance of peace, love and abundance for all. Very quickly, they organised a cult-like mentality to counter that. And in the 1960s and early 70s, we had the free love and the love and light program introduced. But that wasn't the first incident of it. That was first formulated as a control system alternative to organised religion in the 1880s by Blavatsky. But there was also a love and light movement in the 1860s, not just the 1960s. And it was proliferated by overtly sexual attitudes and escapades, drugs and alcohol excesses, and so they were nullified by their own ignorance. Now, many of the early children were blighted by ending up with poor parents and family lines, and many fell due to the pressure, abuse and also being shunned by society. The next batch came in and it had it a bit better, more awake and aware, but they fell into another trap, all carefully laid out for them. The music and technology revolution came in to provide the distraction. Meanwhile, to prepare for the next batch who would come in, 2000 onwards, the ones with the extra strands of DNA, they introduced a malady to counter those children with the fake disease called ADHD. Out came the people harmer or farmer industry to stifle them. And again, ignorant parents and teachers believed the lying system that drugs was the answer. No, it wasn't. Only extra love, care and attention was required. The only problem with those agitated children was they couldn't handle the lower base frequencies this planet endured, having come from a much higher frequency existence. Around puberty age, they would begin to get less agitated and settle down and in more, providing their parents hadn't skull raped them with Ritalin. But clearly, their plans to disrupt those children with the extra DNA has not worked. And perhaps now in this generation, their new plan is to mess with their RNA. Which mode of RNA will try to do that, I wonder? We should not be saying I would die to save my children. We should live and save all organic children. We're coming after you, indeed. Final piece tonight. There is a call this week to cancel Mother's Day. No doubt due to some jackass offended by everything group. But perhaps there is a point to that statement, although not as intended from the low vibrational mindset people who created that meme and thought process. Perhaps we should ban Mother's and Father's Day. Why? Because it should be celebrated every day. They are the life givers, remember. Shouldn't that be celebrated every day, without the need for the greed-based marketeers turning it into a commercial gain exercise? But what I haven't heard, which is far more essential, is the deleting of the church-related days, called holy days, not holidays. Every single one of them are rituals and sacrifice days, and they get us to celebrate their killing of us. How stupid are we? Ignorance before the internet was a choice, not so now. Our very own show From Russia with Love +6 revealed all the holy days and their rituals performed on each given day. Sexual assaults, buggery to all underage children, blood drinking, sacrificing people and other heinous crimes against humanity. And this is your church running this, which is why they are calling it holy days. But at which point does common sense and sanity kick in? Now, I'm encouraged that many people now are beginning to question the narrative, be it from government or the treasonous cretins known as the media, all of which is controlled by the dark forces. So why would anyone watch it or worse, believe it? But progress on that has made giant strides. So they roll out fascist tactics, which is Zionist, not German, to stifle all debate. And whilst it's frustrating, it is also a massive thumbs up to us all who have sought the truth. But one thing remains largely untouched, despite no proof of who wrote it, or proof it is accurate, nor has it ever been validated, despite many who wore that program trying to do so, as most of the ones who flipped away from the book and changed their path, those books are the religious scriptures of all denominations. Perhaps I was right the first time. Dominations. They never told our story. They told our oppressors' stories. Accept it and move forward in a clockwise energetic field, away from the harvesting anti-clockwise field the religious program brought you. And whilst we were at it, let's cancel Black Week or Black Month as well. Because unless you have a week or month celebrating all other races, that in and of itself makes it a racist program. It is condescending and also a divisive program. But you know for a fact they're not celebrating blacks. They are pushing division in the faces of the other races. No race on this planet has done themselves proud as a collective, and that is what we must change in all the varying humanoid races on this planet. Every day should be treasured and celebrated for the gift of life, and that is often overlooked by many in the search of material gain. We forget we all have the most precious thing ever: life. We forget we as humans are the most precious resource in the universe. We forget that all life is a test and experience-based event that requires us all to overcome the hurdles that life throws up at us, and when you overcome them, that is soul progression. There is an army of dark force jinns all lining up to have what you already possess: a living vessel. Yet do you treasure that enough? Do you protect it enough? Do you respect it enough? Do you trust it enough? Do you love it enough? Too often the focus is what I am not and not what I am. What I can't do instead of what I can do. Life is impossible instead of I'm possible. Do you have limits? Who created them limits? Think about that. They told you the sky is the limit. I say, which sky? Have you defined what the you is? What is your legacy to date? You, not others. You. Do you still seek outside of you when all is internal? Are you too quick to judge others and yet not yourself? And if you do judge yourself, why are you so critical of yourself? Is the critique valid? Or just another victim of the low self-esteem and low self-worth victimhood mentality? Critiques, they say, are 10 a penny. Then why follow the masses with their programs? Does anyone ask why we are not encouraged to worship ourself? Is that a rule, regulation, statute, executive order, or church doctrine? Why does the church ask for you to worship outside of yourself when the Creator spark is within you? Do you have peace? Is that external or internal? The external can deceive. The internal will not. You can follow a narrative and vision, but never follow a leader unless that leader is you. If you're a mind thinker, you may struggle to comprehend that statement, but not if you follow your heart. This has been the Truth, Honour and Integrity Show. My name's Thomas Williams. Bye for now.